Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined once again by highly esteemed trainer Shane McGuigan. Shane, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Danny, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. We're here at the Boxer Press Day, of course, for the November show. Caroline Dubois, a focal point of that. Just first of all, tell us how the relationship between yourself and Caroline came together.
Well, we did a few sessions before the Olympics when Dan was coming down. Myself and Dan were going to link up, and then he chose to go with Mark Tibbs for a small part. But before that, we did a few sessions, and then we kind of clicked pretty quickly. I'm not going to lie, and I think she's got bagfuls of talent. Since the Olympics, she's been coming down. She's a little break, but in the gym for a good few months now, and I'm excited.
Do you think her coming over to you had an impact on Daniel returning to you after Mark Tibbs?
No, I think there was a lot of issues there going on behind the scenes, and I think now everything's been firmed up, so we'll just move on. I think Caroline is, she's her own woman, and I think she's got her own sights on what she wants to box like, and I think my style of coaching and her style of fighting blends well.
Is this the first time you've had two female fighters in the gym at the same time?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I've actually got Maria, who's a Croatian girl as well. She's been trained by my assistant, Josh Pritchard, so good, she's good talent as well. So we've got three females in the gym, and obviously got Ellie Scotney on this weekend, and Caroline's making a debut in November 20.
It's fantastic in-house sparring, it must be. What's the dynamic like between Caroline and Daniel in the gym? Because when we've seen them outside of your gym, they're very competitive. Is it carried over?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, they train back-to-back slots because they come in at the same time. But they both fight completely different. Caroline's she really is a sort of back foot, sort of slick counter puncher, and Daniel's an absolute beast. He's an attacking fighter, pushes people back and wing shots in. So stylistically they're very different, but when it comes to the circuits and training and pushing themselves pushing themselves outside, they're definitely very competitive.
Now, they moved around a lot as amateurs, different clubs and so on. What does it say about you and the trust that particularly their father has placed in you, that they're staying with you, both of them?
It's the best in the game, isn't it?
Fair enough. You mentioned Ellie Scotney just before. She's got Maria Cantos, I believe, this weekend. What are you expecting to see from her? Oh, is it Eva Cantos? Oh, because Maria's the Croatian girl. What do you expect to see from her this weekend?
I think you'll see someone that's happy and excited to put on a show. She hasn't boxed in front of a crowd yet. When it comes to her professional career, she actually said that even when she was an amateur, she didn't box in front of many crowds, because she was at quite a lot of international tournaments and they're obviously quite quiet. So I think it's something new for her. She's excited to get out and showcase her skills. I think we're going to see a little bit more of an aggressive, spiteful puncher. I've been working on trying to get her to force the fight a little bit more, because she's great inside in the pocket. You know what I mean? She's great at catching, firing. She feels comfortable in there, and sometimes she was pot shotting and letting people get off the hook a little bit. So I'm looking for a stoppage for her. I really want. Obviously, I don't want her to go out there and just try to stop the girl, but hit with intent. Hit with intent to hurt her opponent, and I think you're going to see quite a spiteful performance.
Now, I believe this one's been made at just above super bantam, mainly due to Cantos. Is that where Ellie's future lies, at super bantam, or will it be bantam?
Well, we'll start at super bantam, and I think we'll basically see where she feels comfortable. It's not a lot of weight. There's only 4 pounds difference, but sometimes that 4 pounds can be a little bit too much to cut. Do you know what I mean? And we'll see. When she was younger, she was very heavy, so we don't want to be cutting off too much weight that she starts feeling a bit weak. So we'll see, but I believe it'll be nice to start at bantamweight to win a world title down there.
Now, before we move on to some of the other fighters, someone asked me on Twitter to ask you about Alfie Price and what's happened with him, because we haven't seen him around for a while.
Well, Alfie's was in the gym for a while, and we looked at a few options for him to try and get some fights. And at the time, it was within COVID times, and he was struggling a little bit with money outside, because he's got a business and scaffolding and stuff. So he said, "I've got to go back to work," and we keep in touch, but we haven't really picked it up since. His door's always open for Alfie. I think he needed to focus on his business, because that's something that was bringing his income. And now boxing's getting back together. It's getting back when it's coming to crowds and stuff like that. I think now's the time he should start looking to get back into it.
Let's talk about Anthony Fowler. Obviously didn't go your way last time out against Liam Smith. What are your reflections on that, having let the dust settle?
Disappointed. I believe he's better than that. I don't think it was his best. I don't think it was a very good showing of what he's capable of. But he put on a brave performance, but he got cut. Couldn't see out of his left eye. He was blood was dripping into it, and he had a lot of things he had to deal with on the night. So disappointed. I believe he's much better than that. But he said he felt weak and flat in there, and you never know what people are going through. You never know what they're feeling when it comes to their doing that weight cut. And the thing is, I was just saying in a previous interview that the thing is, a lot of my fighters come to me fresh. They come to me not in terms of where they're at. I've worked with people like George Groves and stuff at the end of their career, but I'm talking about when they come into camp, right? They're fresh. They're not already pre-cooked. But Anthony's never not training. He's doing 1 to 2 sessions a day, under eating all the time. So when he's coming into me, he's already semi-cooked. So then we're going for an 8-week camp. And I keep saying to him, go off and let yourself swell up and give us something to train off. But, when you're doing that and you're feeling tired, then you're always going to go off that weight that they're reasonably coming into the gym at. You say, all right, well, that's not too much of a stretch, nowhere near. But he's already semi on weight, so I think 160 is definitely the right weight for him. I said to him, let yourself go as heavy as you want, and then we'll take it from there. Don't put any restrictions on himself. He's a big frame. I think he's a big puncher, but he's weakening himself getting down to that weight. And look, we can't sit there and excuse just the weight. I mean, Liam Smith was a better fighter on the night. He put on a fantastic performance. He was very calm when he was hurt, and he'll say he wasn't hurt, but he was really badly hurt in the first 3 rounds. Cut open with an eye, and that just shows from an experience standpoint and that grit and determination. He's got that in bags. He's got that in abundance. So, he came through a sticky situation, cut Anthony and dropped him in the 5th, and the fight I think was stopped in the 7th or 8th or something. But it's disappointing. But you're losing to a guy like Liam Smith in a big sort of like Liverpool rivalry. So it was a good night in certain aspects, but at the same time disappointing in others.
Daniel Dubois, who we talked about earlier, will we see him back out before the end of the year?
Yeah, he's boxing in December. Yeah.
Any idea what sort of level that'll be at?
We don't know where he's boxing, but he's boxing in December, and I think I'll leave up to Frank and Martin Bowers. We've been in talks over the last couple of weeks, but we're prepping for that, and hopefully they'll deliver something good.
There's been a lot of speculation about the future for Anthony Joshua in terms of his training setup recently. He seems to be on something of an American tour, trying to find the right person or team to back him. Was there ever been any consideration, either on your side or on their side, about you potentially stepping in? You're obviously thought of as one of the best trainers in this country.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, myself and we over the years we've had a few back and forths, and I think he's reached out to a few people on my team to get a bit of information. But the problem is when you made all that money, and you're constantly thinking, we've got to control it. I've got to control this system, and I've got to make sure people are on my levels and they work around me and my schedule. Whereas that's not for me. I mean, I am come to my gym, train in the times that we allocate you, and work with my team, and that's part of it. But obviously I would consider doing it. But I think the thing is with Anthony is he needs to make sure that he's happy with whatever decision he makes, because this has to be the last decision that he makes, because he's 32. He's had McCracken from the amateurs, he's had him from the pros. Rob McCracken's a very good trainer. He's lost a little bit of respect within that team. He's brought in people like Angel Fernandez that are good on the pads, and Joby Clayton that know their boxing, but everyone's different, right? They all coach differently, and I think whatever he does moving forward is go with someone and believe in them and believe in yourself, because that's going to bring the best out of you. Once you get that back and forth bond, and it's you guys against the world, then that means that he's going to bring out the best version of him. When he's thinking, all right, well, Joby wants me to box this way, Angel wants me to box this way, Rob wants me to box that way, he's confused all the time. And and then he's also doubting himself, asking people what he thinks he should box like. believe in yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he doesn't. I think he just doesn't believe sometimes in the right way to approach fights or the right way to fight, and it has to suit him. By going out and training with, okay, look, let's put it this way, right? You got Eddie Reynoso. Who's he worked with? Yeah. What's Canelo got? The best chin around. A fantastic chin, right? Gets guys to miss by millimetres. Is that going to suit Andy Joshua? I don't believe so. Do you know what I mean? Go and train with someone that's going to get you punching hard, punching long, punching through the target, being committed to your shots, not pulling out of the shots, getting nailed on the way out, hands tight, and be a beast. And whoever does that, do it with full intent. Do it with full commitment. Don't go and get guys to slip, slide, pull, because that ain't working. That's not him.
And you believe that could be you if circumstances aligned?
Anybody. I believe it could be anyone that has the right intent.
And he's going around America. Do you think there's a reason for that? Do you think he wants to remove himself from distractions, or do you think he just doesn't see the right person in the UK?
Maybe. I mean, like, he might just be going and trialling as many people as he can. I think it's a good thing to do, but then what's that doing? It's second guessing everybody. You know what I mean? The more people and there's a lot of good trainers out there, the more people you go and train with, the more you think, oh, that was good. I like what he did. And I like what he did, but I didn't like the other stuff that he did. And then you're thinking, well, if I can pick Ronnie Shields to do that, and then Reynoso to do this, and then Matey Boy over there to do that, then it's just, you're back to square one again. You've got three guys in your corner there. And the thing is, he's making so much money, they'll all do it. Just believe in one person, that's it.
You said about McCracken losing a certain amount of respect within the team. Do you feel he's been treated unfairly, or do you think it's just a natural consequence in boxing when people decide to move on, potentially?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't allow someone to bring somebody else in. And I think Rob is a proud man, but I think sometimes, I don't know. He's a bit tired in the game. He's been around the game a long time. He might just be like, well, do you know what? I don't need to do all the pads. I don't need to do all of this. I don't need to do all that. And I think he might have seen it originally as, that takes a little bit of stress off my shoulders, because he's got really loyal coaches in the likes of Lee Pullen and Richie Woodall and stuff on the amateur section. But then you're bringing in other people that are more pro coaches, and the problem with pro coaches is they've all got a little bit of an ego. And then you're dealing with, stop it, don't talk there, don't talk here. And then it's a problematic situation.
So if you had a fighter, not necessarily AJ, but someone who wanted to work with you, last question, but someone who wanted to work with you but would only do so if they could bring at least one assistant trainer with them of their own choosing, you wouldn't be interested?
George Grove tried to bring in two people. I sacked the two of them, and they're both very good people. Do you know what I mean? Nice people as well, but it was my team, that was it. David Hay tried to bring in more people, and I said no. And and actually I said, all right, you can work with your strength and conditioning coach, because you're taking a mick out of my S&C coach and wasting our time, because he's saying 3 o'clock and he's turning it up at 6. And the thing is with my schedule is it has to work in and around my surroundings, and I don't have as much of an issue when it comes to S&C coaches and stuff now. I understand that people want to work with their own things or their own nutritionists and stuff like that. I'm less controlling on that side, but when it comes to boxing, it's my way or the highway, because that's the level of respect you have to have.
Brilliant, Shane, it's always a pleasure, and I'll let you get a much needed rest.